everybody, welcome to Ducks and Crosses. This is Flosstube number 4 and it's my October roundup. Today is Sunday the 2nd of November, so I'm a few days late. Just didn't have a chance to film before now. So I just want to say hello, welcome to everybody that's returning, and a big hello and welcome to anybody that's new here. I'd like to say big thank you to everybody that has subscribed to my channel. You've helped me reach over 600 subscribers, which is just insane. And also anybody that's followed me on Instagram. I'm Ducks and Crosses on Instagram as well. You've also helped me get over 600 followers on Instagram as well. So thank you so much. If you enjoy what you see, then please like, comment and subscribe. I like to read everybody's comments and reply. I do try and reply to everybody. If I've missed anybody, I do apologise, but I do try and reply to everyone's comments. I like to see what you think of my videos. Anyway, so I'm going to do a October review. I've had a very busy month. I've been on a retreat, which I'll tell you a bit about towards the end. I started a new job, which has gone really, really well. It just means I've had a little bit less stitchy time than what I normally do, but I've still had a pretty productive month. So overall, I've stitched for 28 days out of 31. I do try and stitch every day. There's only been 2 months this year that I haven't. One was July because I was away for my birthday and things, and then this month just I ran out of time on a few days. Is what it is. I had 2 new starts. I'll show you them in a bit. I had 1 finish, and I worked on 11 different projects, which I was shocked when I counted them up. I was like, oh my god, I've worked on 11. Like, how have I done that? But I think because of being at the retreat, I did work on a few extras. So I'll just crack straight on. So my finish. I have finished the Bluey family that I've been stitching for my niece. I will pop a picture up of where I was at. So I think the last time you saw it, I may have started the dad's, this one. But it is finally finished. So this is stitched on a 16 count hand dyed Ada that I've dyed myself. I plan on finishing this as like a long pillow. So yesterday I went to the creative craft show with my mum and my sister and my sister's mother-in-law, and I got some Bluey fabric. So that'll be the backing fabric. Turn this into like a long pillow that can sit on my niece's bed. I did tell my sister it cannot be washed because the hand-dyed fabric will run. I didn't think that through, did I? But hopefully it won't get dirty. And yeah, I'm very proud of this finish. My niece asked me to stitch it, so I did. I thought she'd forget about it. She didn't. She kept asking me when it was going to be done. So I finally cracked on with it and got it finished. So yeah, pleased with that. So that's my finish. I've got no space in here. I'm going to just drop everything on the floor. So that was my finish. Oh, and I stitched that using CXC threads. Just picked what I'd got from my stash. So my new starts. My first new start was the Cotton and Twine September design that was designed by Crochet Go Go. It's such a cute little pillow. I really hope eventually there is a spring, winter and summer release as well, so that I can have a set. But I started this with Cross Stitch Sarah, my mother-in-law, and in a way with Ellie stitching B. There was a bit of miscommunication, and me and Sarah didn't start the right project, but it's got 2 foxes on, it's cute. So yeah, we started this together. My start isn't a very big start. I've only literally stitched on it the one time that I started it, so it's only had 1 lot of progress. And I literally got autumn in and the 2 little top of the mushroom, the toadstools. it will be very cute once this is finished. So yeah, that was new start number 1. Oh dear. This is going to be a disaster once I've finished. My room is going to be a complete mess. Anyway, start number 2 was one I have been thinking about for ages and could not get it out of my head. I will put a picture up of what it will look like when it's finished, but this is In This House We Do Disney that I got from Etsy. I cannot remember for the life of me. I should have written it down. Who it's by. I will add the details at the bottom of the screen. This is stitched on a 32 count even weave by Megan at Coffee Crafts. Let's see if I can get what it the whole piece looks like. It's kind of a little bit washed out. It's a mixture of like pinks, purples, greens, greys. But yeah. And my needle minders. So the round one, the Disney Castle, is from Cross and Crafts, and then the popcorn bucket is a needle minder I won in the raffle at the Frostlands retreat from Cross Stitch Bunny. So that's one of the needle minders. I won 2 that I picked. So looking forward to doing more on that one. I've been thinking about it for ages since I've seen it. I've got a wooden board that's like In This House We Do Harry Potter that lives in the living room. So to have a stitched one of Disney, because very much in my Disney era as such. I loved stitching on that. I started that at the retreat. It's quite an easy one to start at the retreat because of it just being 310. Got quite good progress on that. And I'm stitching that with the called for DMC threads. So my remaining whips are, let's actually take the end of this off. So whip number 1 is my Arsenal badge that I'm stitching or using for the Stitchers Football Challenge that is run by the Yorkshire Stitcher on Instagram. So this is my project for the Arsenal men's team. So depending on how they perform depends on how many stitches I have to do. So let me look at my notes. In the last month, Arsenal played 5 games and I had to do 920 stitches based on their results. So it's got me a good chunk of progress and has moved it on. I'm really sorry if you can hear that. It's like scratching noise. That's my cat trying to scratch the door to get in. That's not happening. So that is Arsenal. I'll put a picture up of where it was before so you can see the progress. Again, I'm up to date with my stitches. I've just got to put in the stitches from yesterday's game. Just dropped the clamp. Oh well, that's going on the floor as well. So then my second project that I'm using for the football challenge is for Arsenal women, and that is Sampler Harry Potter. Let's take that off as well, and you can see where it's up to. So this one I'm using for the women's team. They played 4 games in October, and I had to do only 530 stitches. They didn't perform very well. We had a few bad results. We had a few draws and a loss. But this is Sampler Harry Potter from Lena over on Etsy. I forgot to say where the others were from. I'm stitching this on 27 count light taupe by Zweigart, 2/1 full cross. Yep, I'm mad. Full cross. Using CXC 500. This is now at 30%, literally just over 30% complete. Every time I stitch on it, I absolutely love it, but you can see how tiny the stitches are. But surprisingly, it's actually not too bulky. So yeah, I absolutely love this project. So pretty. I'm going to try and put the clamp back on for this one. yeah, again, a bit of progress. They've got some more games in the next month, so hopefully a few more wins, a few more goals scored, and that will get a bit more progress. So my other whips that aren't part of challenges, these are just ones that I picked up. So number one, it's not whip number one, but I'm going to have to hold it that way so you don't get the reflection, is my Historica Sampler Company Our Year calendar that I am stitching. So I started this as my New Year, New Start. So it started on the 1st of January. And my goal has been to stitch each month box within the month. So I managed to get October done and bring the border down and across and put in spring. I've got to put in winter down the bottom here and a heart, and then there's some other little like doodads that I've still got to add in between the boxes. So I am in a way a little bit behind, but I'm not like behind in terms of doing the actual boxes, so I will get November's done in November. Hopefully do a bit more of that border. So then in December it's just to literally finish off the last little bit of the border, do December's box, and it will be a finish within the year. That is my goal. I am still on track. I did really enjoy stitching October. It was good fun with the little colours and the witch's hat. So that was that one. My next whip that I worked on was one of my Whip Go goals. So I'm having to play catch up with Whip Go a little bit because I put it on hold when I was working on a focus piece to make sure it was done in time for a gift for Christmas. So I've got to play catch up. So this month, so October, November and December, I've got to do 3 Whip Go goals each month to be able to complete my Whip Go board for the end of the year. So this was a Whip Go call, and it's Bear Hugs by Bothy Threads. It's a Rendell Designs piece. And my Whip Go goal was to stitch on it for 5 days. I will put a picture up of where it was so you can see the progress it got. I think I was working on kind of the bottom of Mummy Bear's chest and the start of Baby Bear. I can't remember now. It's just so much brown. But I am stitching this and I will get it done because my in-laws, Cross Stitch Sarah, are known as the Bears. So Morgan was always called Baby Bear because he's an only child. And then Morgan's dad, Aaron, his nickname with lots of his friends are the Bear. So when I saw this, the fact that Sarah got me into stitching, I kind of was like, I've got to stitch on these bears. So it will get finished slowly. This was started in 2022, I think, or 2023. I think it was 2022. Yeah, but we're nearly there. In a way, there's still a lot to do. There's like all the bottom bit here, so there's still a lot of stitching to do, but I'll keep plodding on. I'll keep putting in a brown thread as often as I can. One day it will be finished. That is a 14 count speckled eider that comes in the kit, and using the kit threads and things that comes with the Bothy kits. So one of my other Whip Go goals, my needle's fallen off the needle minder. So one of my other Whip Go goals was to work on Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow. It was a stitch along from a few years ago. Obviously I'm not stitching, this is a stitch along. This is stitched on a 20 count Bellana even weave, 2/1 full cross using called for DMC. And it is fabric that I've hand dyed myself. It's really picking up the grey. It's not as grey as that. Like, there is little grey splodges, but not as many. No. I am filming this towards the afternoon, so the lighting isn't great. But, so this again, it was, the goal was to stitch on this for 5 days, or 5 times worth of stitching. And I did manage to pretty much get in all of this bit of the frame. So I got some really good progress. I'll put in a picture of where it was before, and I'll pop a picture in of what it will look like when it's done. But my goal is to finish all of the frame before I stitch the fun stuff of all the fish, the nice brightly coloured fish. But yeah, it was a bit, it's not been difficult to stitch, but like, you do have to do a bit of counting. And counting is sometimes very hard. And I think my counting has gone wrong, but I'm going with it. I'm not unpicking any of this. So yeah. And my needle minder there was a table gift from Sarah at the retreat. She put them just on the table. You could pick a letter. She had some letters left from when she'd gone to Stitch in London. And as there was a W, my last name begins with a W now, I thought I'd have that one. So yeah. That is that whip. My next one is TeaRex by Silver Creek. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to put it on the screen. This is stitched on an 18 count hand-dyed Ada by myself. Needle minder is a Charley Feathers needle minder. I know it's a dragon. It's the closest thing I had to a dinosaur. I need to find it. I have a needle minder that's a cup of tea. I don't know what project it's on or where it is, so that's why I've gone for a dragon. But TeaRex, I've only stitched on this once this month. I stitched on this when I got to Sarah's house before the retreat, so I went up on the Friday and stayed with her. So I managed to get in a bit more of the dinosaur, I think, off the top of my head. It's kind of where I got the progress in. But my plan for this is actually, it's going to become my travel piece. And I know it's like a big Q-snap, but because it's a paper chart, I can take it to work and just stitch on it at work on my lunch breaks, or when I get to work like 20-30 minutes early sometimes, depending on traffic. I can, put in a few threads when I'm sat in the car and just when I'm on my lunch break. And hopefully next month you'll see some good progress on that, because that's my plan. Then the next one is a project I stitched on at the retreat, and it is Stitching Rules by Primrose Cottage. So this project I started with Sarah at the retreat earlier on in the year, the Floss Friends retreat. Was it April, May? I can't remember exactly when it was. Anyway, we got this after seeing it online, and me and Sarah were like, we need that. So Sarah ordered it from America, so we'd got the paper one, paper copy, and it arrived before the retreat, so we started it. Only for it to come out on PDF literally just before the retreat, and we were like, oh, okay. So we're now stitching it on a paper copy, so I can't give you any statistics. But when we were stitching on it at the retreat, we enabled a lot of people. A lot of people decided they wanted to stitch it as well. So we came up with the idea that if we all stitch this with the aim of getting it done by the October 2026 retreat, so next year, we can all bring our finishes along, and we can have a big group picture of everybody with their finishes and to see the different personalizations people have made. So I'm stitching this on the called for fabric that's a 32 count linen in light ash grey by Zweigart, but I am stitching it using the CXC threads that are like the DMC equivalent, apart from I've changed my yellow out to a bit of a brighter yellow. And then the only other personalizations I've done is I've done like satin stitch for the spools. But during the last retreats, the progress I've got this month has been like I think I got the enjoy bit, that bit completely done at the retreat, and the buttons down here. So yeah, some good progress on that. I need to maybe stitch on it a little bit more often than just I have been only stitching on it during the online stitching chats that we do with the Floss Friends group, or at retreats. But I think I may need to pick it up a little bit more often to make sure I am done in time, because how embarrassing would that be if I'm the one that doesn't get it finished and it was like my idea for the stitch along. That'd be so bad. But I saw quite a few people stitching this at the retreat, and people's variations on like fabric choice and colours and things. It's going to be great to see everybody's finishes. So really excited about that. Just need to stitch on it a little bit more. And then my final whip is my last whip go goal for the month, and it was to stitch on my first full coverage piece, Welcome Home, mini Welcome Home, by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm stitching this on 28 count 2/1 tent stitch using the called for DMC. Again, my whip go goal was to stitch on it for 5 stitchy sessions, and I managed to get just over 1,000 stitches done as the progress on this, which isn't too bad considering sometimes it's literally only to stitch on it for an hour in an evening. And I managed to get a lot more of like the green filled in down here, this bit. Sorry if you don't like parked threads, then like this bit under here. So this has been called twice this year, so this is finished for its whip go call. So I managed to only get like 2,000, just over 2,000 stitches progress on this, which is not enough. It's moved this on 2%, basically. So it's taken me to just over 20% complete. And if I only stitch 2% a year for the remaining 80% of this project, it's going to take me 40 more years to complete. I can't have that. I do not want to be stitching this when I'm in my 60s. This needs to be finished a lot sooner than that. So I am going to make this a focus piece for next year. I'm not going to go into my plans too much for next year because I'm going to do that in my December video probably. Maybe my November. But yeah, it got some progress, not enough. And I love this. It's just, I've got too many whips for myself anyway. But there's going to be more. I'm going to be starting more things. So I need to find a way to be able to get good progress on this project whilst being able to stitch everything else and work. But that is it for my whips. So my plans for next month. My 2 whip go, and I say 2 whip go, it is 3 whip go calls for next month, but my 2 whip go calls for next month are Flirtation by Long Dog. It's a mini peccadillo, I think is what it's called. I'll put a picture up. And Imagine Turtle is what I call it. That's a Buffy Threads kit. So they're my 2 main whip go calls. The other whip go call is my Arsenal badge, but that's going to get more than 5 days of stitching anyway, because it's on my football challenge and Arsenal men play 5 or 6 times next month. So that will be getting my 5 days whip go done. So goal for them 2 projects is to stitch 5 sessions on each of them projects to get a bit of moving on. And apart from that, I'm doing my historical sampler company our year calendar, doing the November box for that. They're the only plans I have for next month. So hopefully some of my whips will get a bit more progress. That's all the goal. So if that's all you're here for, to see my stitching, then thank you very much for watching. But if you want to stick around, I'll do a little bit of a retreat review and show you some of my stitchy kindness and haul that I've got from in the last month, basically. So the retreat. So I went to the Floss Friends October retreat that was held in Rotherham. It's organised by Sammy of the Old Barn Stitching Co and Little Loop Stitching. It's a great retreat. It's just so much fun to sit around and talk to other stitchers, because I talked to my husband about it. He pretends he's interested, but I don't think he is. And obviously I talk to Sarah about my stitching a lot. We call each other pretty much every day, if not every other day, to show what we've been working on. But it's just nice to see other projects, other people, what they're stitching on. You get enabled, you do some enabling, if you're me, apparently. I didn't realise I was an enabler, but turns out I am. Sorry, Julie. Sorry, Leanne. Yeah, some little shops that are there. So Talking Dog Stitchery was there. Jess Gets Stitching. No, Cross Stitch Jess. With her bags. I got one of her bags. Very excited about that. Cross Stitch Bunny was there, Lauren. Michelle from Stitch Mania Stash. Sammy was there with her stuff from the old Barn Stitching Co. And then on the Sunday there was Lisa from Atelier Frames, where you can take your finished projects to her, or you can always post them out beforehand as well, and she will frame them and post them back to you, or you can collect them at the retreat. And there are also some ready-made frames that you can buy, which I've got a couple of, so I'll show you them. So yeah, you get hot lunch included at lunch time. It's a hot buffet lunch, tea and coffee throughout the day, snacks, and they're just so much fun. We had a great time. Yeah, so the things that I've acquired this month, the biggest one is my Christmas present that I've now already had. So Morgan, my husband, was going to buy me the DMC chest for Christmas, and I already knew that's what he was going to get me. And I was just looking online and saw that it was actually on like a Prime deal. So I said to him, can I just order it now, because it saved nearly £100 by it being on this Prime deal, and it was free delivery and things. So he was like, yeah, go for it. So I got that. I'll put pictures up because it's too big to hold up and show. So I've had some fun. I've not completely finished sorting it out. I think I've got one more drawer to go. So I've been sorting that out a little bit, and it came with this DMC history book. I haven't read it yet, but it's got some nice little bits of information in, I assume. So, I've just looked in it. The first page I've opened up, it's not in English, so I'm hoping there'll be bits. Oh, there you go. Some of it is in English. That's lucky, otherwise I would be in big trouble. But yeah, and it comes with a colour chart as well. I've already got the DMC colour chart with the actual threads in, as this was a printed one, so I've used it to help organise the drawers, basically. So that's big bit of haul. So thank you very much, Morgan, for my Christmas present. It'll be coming very handy when I try and do Stitch from Stash next year. My other lovely bit of haul that I'm sure now loads of people have seen is the Stitching Cabin Stitchers Almanac for 2026. So I had this for this year, for 2025. I've loved using it. I've loved tracking my stitching, writing down my stitching goals and all of that. It's been really good fun. It's the first year I've done a stitching journal, and I can't wait to use this one. And the design at the front is just so pretty. So if you're thinking about getting one, I highly recommend the Stitching Cabins Stitchers Almanac. I got the hardback one because I had the hardback this year and I really liked it. Been a few layout changes, a couple of extra bits in next year's book that I can't wait to use. So yeah, loved that. And then I'm just trying to look at the stuff that I didn't get that was not from the retreat. I have this bit of 14 count Zweigart Ada I ordered because it was in the sale at Hobby Jobby, and it's sparkly. stitch on 14 count very often, apart from unless it comes in a kit. But because it was sparkly, I wanted to have a go at hand dyeing some sparkly fabric. So I got this to have a go at doing that. So I don't know what colour I'm going to dye it yet, but I'm excited to see how it turns out. So the retreat, no, these two bits aren't retreat haul or related. So I got the Summer Quaker by Primrose Cottage that I won in a giveaway by Tan the Monogamous Cross Stitcher on Flosstube, or CXC by Tan on Instagram. I love the look of these little pillows, so I think I'm going to have to get the others now, aren't I, before next year, so I can stitch on them next year, and I'll be stitching from stash. Need to decide what colour thread I'd want to use. Maybe I'll have a go at dyeing some thread for it. Who knows? And then the other bit that is not retreat haul, although I didn't get it at the retreat, but I picked it up from Sarah at the retreat. Sarah treated me to the, what's it called again? House of Book Dragons. I should know that. Sarah's been going on and on about this because she cannot wait to start it. Neither can I, to be fair. It's a very cute little design. It is by the Stitch Crypt. Cross Stitch Curiosities. But I haven't got any fabric for it yet. I'd have to dye some or buy some, either or. But when Sarah gave this to me, we were like, oh, we'll start it at the retreat. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. We weren't organised enough to start it at the retreat. Sarah did, but she's going to have a restart. If you've watched her video, you'll know. If not, go and watch her. This has like 30 DMC colours in it. I was like, what? 30? It doesn't look like there's 30 colours in that, but there's 30 colours in it. So either I need to take 30 colours out of my DMC chest to replace them 30 colours, or just buy the 30 colours. I was like, oh my god, 30 colours. So, Stitchy Kindness first of all. So Sarah went to Stitch in London at the beginning of October, and she was there with like Charley and Charley Feathers and Laura from Cotton and Clay and Yaz, from made by Yaz, yeah, and Charley gave her some floss drops to give to me as Stitchy Kindness that were left over from table gifts. I'll just do a little flick through of some of these because they're such cute little autumn floss drops. I've been dying to use these, and they've been sat in my floss tube box for like nearly a month, not being able to be used. So they're just adorable. I love that you can put the little label on the back of what the DMC number is or what the thread is. It's also got a nice little bit of ring bling. And then Danny, Stitchy Nook on Instagram, it's danny.stitchy.nook, gifted this little pouch that was a table gift that she did for me. Well, not for me, but it was left over, so she allowed Sarah to take one for me. With this little cross stitch charm. There's some felt on the back. But I love green. And then inside there was some little snips. And a little notebook. And a needle threader. Yep. So that was lovely, so thank you very much for them. And then when Sarah was at the retreat, she sent me a picture of Yaz's stand. And there was this pair of scissors. And he'd hold them up the right way around. The cat snips were there. So there was a range of different colours, but I just loved the orange ones. And they're just such cute little snips. Their Kelmscott scissors, so they're really good quality. And they're just so cute. So I have to have these to use for my cat lovers project, because apparently I've now started a thing that I like to have matching scissors for my projects. I've got a swordfish pair that I use for Deadly Aquarium. That's all that them scissors are used for, but as long as I don't start having a scissor obsession like Sarah, but maybe I'm going to because I'm heading in that direction. So that was them. And then I had some other lovely stitchy kindness from my table mates at the retreat. So from Julie, my friend Julie, well, Sarah's friend Julie, now my friend Julie as well. She gave us this little Merry Christmas kit and a lovely wooden chopping board. And obviously it's not going to be used as a chopping board, but stitch this, finish this on the chopping board. Lovely Christmas decoration. So I need to start that soon, along with some more scissors. Got some folding scissors. They look like glasses. They're not glasses. Very handy for travelling, putting in like travel projects for the car and things. Lovely little stitch and tin. Always handy to have a little tin. Along with a mascara wand and some Skittles that I haven't eaten yet. Now I can. I don't know why. Someone did say you can just eat them and keep the wrapper if you really want to show them. But I didn't. Anyway. I probably should put all of this away. And then Kelly, who is Animal Stitches on Instagram and on Flosstube, came from Australia, not just for the retreat, but to have like a holiday, and she incorporated the retreat in it. She had loads of these little pouches, how cute, with some lovely Australian snacks in. And the one that I'm most excited, I haven't eaten any of them, but I used to have a thing, or still do a little bit. I love a Freddo, dairy milk Freddo. When I was like 2, I had a meltdown on St Michael's Mount apparently and screamed the place down because I wanted a Freddo and there was no Freddo in the shop. My mum was mortified. She was so embarrassed because I was there literally screaming, "I want a Freddo!" Anyway, it's now a running joke in my family. My auntie bought me a Freddo jar. The head comes off and you can get like over 60 Freddos inside this jar. And I used to go through a box of 60 Freddos every month. But anyway, I digress about Freddos because Australia don't have Freddos. They have koalas. And Sarah's just told me this packaging glows in the dark. I need to try that out because I did not realise that because it's been in this pouch the whole time. I cannot wait to eat this. And I cannot wait to keep the wrapper and check it glows in the dark. But yeah, there were some other snacks. And that one as well. And then we got Australian afternoon tea. Excited to try that. Although apparently they drink Yorkshire tea in Australia. I was like, oh, okay. This lovely little like zipper charm. Come on, koala. It's a little koala. That needs to go on a project bag. And then this, I think it's like a croc charm. I think Kelly called it a bin chicken. Anyway, and then crunchy. So yeah, thank you very much. Can't wait to eat them. And yeah, go follow her on Instagram and watch Kelly's Flosstube. I then had this lovely pouch from Leanne. I can't believe I've left this in my Flosstube box to show, and now it's not even Halloween. I should have had this out on display because that is just such a cute pouch, and the embroidery is so lovely. Oh well, it'll come out next year. Same with the little pumpkin. Should have had that out with a load of other lovely, some stickers. That's one thing I need to do on my stitching almanac for next year, is maybe start using stickers because I don't use them, but I really should. And a load of like other sweets and goodies in there. So thank you very much, loved that. Then I had lovely Lynn on our table, Lynn and Bob. Got a bag of Lynn's lavender. Smells so good. Grown from her garden. Lynn is on Instagram. I can't remember her handle now. I enabled her to go on Instagram because she wasn't on Instagram at the retreat. And I was like, you need to be on Instagram. That's where like all the good things are. You get to see people's finishes and things. So she eventually got it and she was like, oh no, now I'm going to come across like canny little fox and Sobe bags and things. I was like, yes, you will. But yeah, lovely bit of Lynn's lavender with some floss drops that she made herself and laminated. I love the fact that they're laminated. I appreciate all the effort that went through that. Because like sometimes card ones, they end up getting a bit flimsy and they tear and things, but if they're laminated, that's not going to happen. Love it. With a gorgeous pair of scissors. I've now got quite a scissor collection. They're so pretty. They come in this lovely little pouch to protect the point. This is all like being at the retreat again. Like I've put this all away and I've completely forgot what I've got. And then I had this like Ted Baker like little mini bottle of perfume. It smells really nice. And a chocolate gunk. All this chocolate I'm going to be able to eat. I can't believe I've been so good and not eaten any of it. I love some chocolate. And then I got a lovely little goodie bag from Stitching with My Littley, Kayla and Lauren. My mind went completely blank then. And here where there's some finishing fabric that you can use to finish a little pillow or something. It's lovely little autumnal pumpkin design. With some ribbon and some stickers and a thread. I can't get everything out. Oh no, my little charms. They've all just fallen on the bed. Along with other little charms you can add on to either like project bags or pillows or anything like that. You can add them on there. This is very cute, so thank you very much. Some of this, they're reflecting. Some of the stickers and a bit of thread used to stitch a project. And the last bit of stitchy kindness, I think, was from Sarah, not Cross Stitch Sarah. Sarah Sherbet. That's her nickname. She's Sherbet Dib Dab on Instagram. And she got these pouches. They weren't all Disney themed. She had multiple ones, but obviously she knows I like Disney and I'd been on a Disney cruise, so she gave me the Disney bag, which I love. And then inside was some other cool goodness. I got some lovely little snips, very handy, and some hand cream. Along with a little notebook and some Smarties, and then a pencil. On top of the pencil was this paw, which actually you can use as a point protector for your scissors if you want, or it can just be a thing to put on top of a pen or pencil. I can't think of the word. Charm, something like that. Don't know. Anyway, right. Now for the really good stuff. So there was a raffle at the retreat on both days, and the first day I won one of the raffle prizes. So I picked a £10 voucher for Cross Stitch Bunny Shop. So I got the popcorn needle minder that was on there, along with this lovely little needle minder. Very cute. Sarah also won. So she got £10 voucher as well. She picked up some needle minders. Then I also won again, so I gave my other raffle prize to Gemma. And I think I won again and I gave it to Julie. I can't remember. And then on the Sunday, I didn't actually enter the raffle, but my other table mates did. And they won like more than once, so they gave me their other winning ticket. So I went and I picked this up from the Old Barn Stitching Co. to make this little, I love this little, the little scissor pouch to finish it like that. That's really clever. I wouldn't have a clue where to start. I need to learn. Something new to be able to do. And that's it in terms of the raffle prizes. Some other slightly non-stitchy bits was a lady called Annabelle was there selling these lovely pens her daughter had made, who was raising some money to be able to go on a residential trip with school. And she'd made loads of these really pretty pens and some key rings and things over like the school holidays and things to be able to sell to raise this money. But I thought they were really cute. Get to use them now. So the actual bits of haul as such from the stitchy from the retreat, I got Frosty Tiny Town by Heart in Hand. Very excited to stitch this. I don't know when I'm going to start it yet, but I'm thinking winter solstice, first day of winter. Maybe new start for that. I need to sort out fabric and threads for it though. I think I'll use the DMC. I'm not going to use the speciality threads. So yeah, that was pattern number 1 that I got from Talking Dog Stitchery. And then I also got, excuse me, Welcome to the North Pole by Primrose Cottage. I love this. It's so pretty. I'm having to hold it at an angle because otherwise you can't see it because of the reflection from the window. But I'm so excited to start this. I've got some fabric ready to go. I've got the threads. I ordered the threads because I thought I might as well. From Threads For You. It came in a lovely DMC box. And I am going to use one of the speciality threads. I'm going to use, what was it? Turkish red. So it's the red that's in like the sleigh. So I did get that. And you can't really see it there, but there is some really, really nice variegation. Let me hold it up against that. You can see it a little bit. The variegation in that was so lovely. So that's the only speciality thread that I am going to use for it. I think the rest doesn't really need them, and to keep like the cost down a little bit. So I'm going to start this on the 1st of December. But just like the chart itself is such a pretty booklet. But I thought I'm going to start it on the 1st of December with the goal to have it done by the 1st of December next year so that it can be out on display for Christmas next year. So I cannot wait to start that. I kind of want it to be the 1st of December now. But that means it would be nearly Christmas. And it is nearly Christmas, but not. And then this bag from Cross Stitch Jess. I just realised she's got a little tag on it. Lovely. Obviously I had to get this bag. It's ducks. So somebody had seen this bag earlier on and told her, oh, Bethany will want that. And then I went over and she was like, oh, I've been told you'd want this bag. I was like, yes, I do. I need that bag in my life. But it's got her like trademark diagonal zip as such that she makes for her bags, which I love. Makes them a bit more unique than just a standard project bag like I make. But it's lovely. It's quilted. And then the inside, it's got like a contrasting fabric with a little bit of binding. So nice. It's been keeping my charts and things I got at the retreat. It's been keeping them in there. So now I get to put a project in it. Yay. And then the only other things I've got was some 28 count cashel linen that I got from Sarah Sherbet Dib Dab on the de-stash table. And again, it's sparkly. Can't wait to dye. Maybe I'll dye some of this for Frosty Tiny Town, because then it might look like it's kind of snowing. Oh, that would be nice. And then I have, so for my table gifts that I gave to everybody, I dyed a bit of fabric. So I dyed like 12 pieces of fabric. And yeah, just gifted them to some people, gave them away. But I did have to keep one bit for myself. So this is an 18 count Ada that I dyed. And I just loved the green, the way it turned out. And I was like, that's my piece, I'm keeping this. There was another piece like this, so somebody did take it, and I can't remember who. I loved that. I'll put a picture up of the bits that I dyed. So yeah, that's it for, oh no, it's not it at all. That is it for retreat haul. And then I also treated myself from Adele, Tailor Made Stitching on Instagram, to a zipper pull and a, did I say a zipper pull? Yeah, a scissor fob with a paw print on to go on my cat scissors. Yeah, to go with my cat lovers project. So I actually can put them on now. Wait a minute. Ta-da! How good does that look? She said, any colours you want in particular? I went, well, my scissors are orange. And it goes perfectly with that. So thank you very much, Adele. Love them. And then the only other bits that I've got are a few bits that I got from the creative craft show that I went to yesterday, which are this lovely little pair of scissors. I'm actually going to keep them in the pouch because you'll see them better. So I got these scissors because my sister actually picked up a cross stitch kit. And I was like, have you got embroidery scissors, Gemma? And she went, no, I don't think I do. I just use whatever scissors I find. I said, okay, let me get you some embroidery scissors. And they were either £5 each or 2 for £9. So I was like, I'll get myself a pair as well. So I got myself a pair of scissors. Got myself some gold-plated John James needles. Always need more cross-stitch needles. And then I saw this fabric that I was like, oh, that'll make nice project bags. Little hexagons. I've had a go at English paper piecing. Oh, it just takes me too long. So I'm going to cheat. Make it look like English paper piecing without doing all the hard work. So maybe I'll make some project bags out of them for myself. But that's everything. This is my longest video. It's been nearly an hour, gosh. So thanks for everybody if you've watched it till the end. Apologies about all the haul. Next month there won't be that much, if any. And next year there won't be much either because I'm going to try and stitch from stash along with Sarah. Our Flosstubers might be a bit shorter next year. Well, Sarah's definitely will be if she can stay and stitch from stash. You'll have to tune in and see. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely month and manage to get all the stitching in that you want to get done. And I will see you at the end of November for my November roundup. Thanks for watching. Bye.